Hello. Welcome to Reaper Errant on Reaper Miniatures. Uh, we're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, I think. When we're going to continue the Reaper Errant, the game that was last time. It was stocking up on all kinds of interesting magical deals, and there is a small debate over what is actually going to be procured, which I'm interested in finding how that goes, but they need a night to sleep on it first. But before we get to a little breakdown, which I went into all of a sudden, maybe because I'm excited, I don't know. I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves and the character they're playing, and then I'll do my thing after that. And I'm going to start at the upper. Oh my God, it's reversed. I'm going to start in the upper left corner with Bobby. Wait, are you muted, Bobby? You're muted, Bobby.
Muted?
Duh.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yep.
I'm waving at you, Frank. Hello. Hello, Frank. Hello again. Welcome and good evening. My name is Bobby Jackson. I play the mighty and indomitable Pugh, gnome bard, armed with my trusty war harp and positive mental attitude.
Excellent. Excellent. I can't wait for Michael to have cue cards someday. Gene.
Hi, everybody. I'm Gene Van Horn. I'll be playing Gooseneck, the lizard folk barbarian, and I'm ready to whackety whack with my axe, whether it's behind a bouncy cancel or not.
Okay. All right. There's some votes going on. Jason.
I'm Jason Wiebe. I'm playing Corncob Thunderbludgeon, a hill dwarf cleric, also a reformed smuggler.
Okay. Oh, I like that. Good info.
Michael. Waterproof dwarf.
Hello again.
Smuggling waterproof dwarf. Sorry.
Tic Tacs.
My name is Michael, and I'm playing Abran, the Wood Elf Ranger. He's totally abominable, got a bow, negative mental attitude, all that kind of
stuff. Thank you. Rhonda.
I'm Rhonda Bender. I'm playing Fathom the Magic User, who is very dominable and has a quixotic attitude.
Okay.
I'll dial my attitude in later.
The script grows over time, and I am enjoying it. Jen.
Hello, I'm Jen. I play Kay Nimblewit, a human thief.
Right.
Filled with regret. See, filled with regret.
There might be some regret.
Only the best kind. So my name is Frank. I'm playing the DM. I'm going to give some quick thanks before we begin. Thank you to Reaper Miniatures, of course, for letting us play this wonderful game. Thank you to Sirenscape for our background and ambient music. Some of the stuff you hear tonight in the background will be from Sirenscape. And yeah, I guess thank you, Justin, for doing this. You're going to be the scenes as they switch will, that will be Justin for the most part. Let's see, a little rundown. This group of adventurers is on a ship that is a cartography vessel and is paid to go out and do things like map different islands and kind of give a scouting look at what's there also. This group of adventurers in particular is hired to protect that ship and the ship's members as they go from place to place. They're in the last port town before they go off into uncharted waters, as it were. And while they're here, there's a couple of things of interest to them. One, the origin story of the 2 slots they found on this ship at one point, because they last boarded here, although that might be a cold trail. Well, is that really of interest? Yeah, and then it seems, I don't want to put anything in their head. They need to get some crew members, though, to fill this ship, and the captain has given them the full permission to do the first round of vetting up until the point where she can give the veto on whether or not they join the ship. They have talked to a wonderful person who owns an item shop, Brooks Shop, and found a number of items they're interested in, and they're dealing with Bintor to possibly get some sort of a third wheel middleman for filling the crew up. I don't think I missed anything that's super relevant for what's going to happen next or what they're interested in. I think we'll just let that play out and see what happens. But when we last left them, they were actually kind of still in Brooks and leaving, saying they needed to sleep on it, have an evening before they could make their decisions on what to purchase. They have a lot of unique items up there on the table for trade. And now we are back into the city, and I don't think that was very late in the day when you got out of there.
I had one question before we left Brooks.
Okay.
The fortress, the miniature fortress that's locked inside that cube, when it's activated, is it just a raw fortress, or is there some kind of accoutrements inside it?
Accoutrements.
That's a great question. I'm going to...
Like little gnome-sized beds and furniture. That would be nice.
Sort of that kind of thing. Is it something we can live in, or is it something that we just use as a fortress, a raw fortress?
Let's see. I am double checking. I think... No, there's nothing in there. It's just a raw square tower, 20 by 20, 30 foot high, magical, that can take quite a beating and you can attack safely from.
Okay. Second question before we take our leave. What happens if we leave something in there and then collapse it?
Spits it out.
Yeah, it ejects it.
Like an elf.
Well, that's what he said last time.
It safely ejects it into, where it used to be, the space it used to be in.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
so it's not really a portable hole on the inside.
No.
Nor is it a trap that we could spring on someone and then just crush them.
No, you from the description, you take the cube, you set it down, and you back off from it. You speak the magic word that activates it, and it grows into this fortress.
Okay.
You can
well, thank you very much.
My question was, we had heard weird noises, but Brooks said they weren't weird, so we're not worried about that, right? Am I recalling that correctly?
Banging, yeah, there were loud bangs, weren't there?
It was in the notes, so it has to be true.
Do we want to poke our head in and look on that before we leave the area?
Yes,
I do.
Probably not a bad idea.
That Brooks's best customer is a guy we might have to fight, so we keep that in mind with whatever we sell.
Yes, that was a good point Kay made last time.
That was a point from last time, yeah. Okay, so let me go and move you to. So you exit Brooks, and there's a road, a fairly large road that leads from the main dock area to the warehouse, which is where Brooks said all that happens. It's not her warehouse, it's just one of the warehouses in town, if not the warehouse. And it is, it was noisy a couple times. She did say that while it wasn't anything to be worried about necessarily, she didn't find it unusual, that it was, She did mention that it was gaining in activity recently. I think there was that much said about it. Let me get the warehouse going here. Never know where someone will start. So
warehouse sounds great. I mean,
warehouse
we hate
does
to have
sound
you
great.
set that up and then not use it, just walk on by. We don't want to do that.
I mean, you know what happens. So down the road you go, and it's not very far, to be honest. And you can find the entrance to the warehouse. It's got doors that are inserted into place that are right now off and off to the side. And you can hear some activity from within the room itself. The stone
Warehouse
building.
is to our left?
It's to the right there. It's like the opening in the wall. There's an alley in between Brooks. That's the building in the foreground to the right. There's a small alley, and then the warehouse is right behind that.
There's nothing down the alley, is there?
No, you can see through to the marketplace, and there was an old guy earlier. You don't see him at the moment.
Oh yeah, there was the old.
Suspicious.
Don't remember if he was like a beggar or something, but
he was a spy. He was a spy. I know it.
So it's open.
Let's go
You
storm.
can hear sounds as you like come around the corner. You can hear things being shuffled around and moved, and you hear somebody mention, "Hey, just take that box right over there. Just set it right there. Exactly, precisely. No, not like that." You can hear a little bit of debate and direction happening from in there.
So nothing really unusual for afternoon activities at the warehouse.
No, it doesn't sound like it as you're approaching it. No. Then you turn the corner and you can see there's whoever I put Gooseneck in the lead there, but
oh well, let's go. I'm charging in. What's going on?
Well, you want to commit to an action? Put Gooseneck up there.
What's going on?
Well, as you enter, you do see it's kind of a flurry of movement. Some chests, some boxes are being maneuvered around a little bit. It looks like there is someone kind of directing how they should be moved around. It seems like a normal warehouse activity at the moment.
are they
No,
like accepting deliveries or moving stuff out, or are they just moving the stuff that's in there around?
Make an insight check. Yeah, insight check. We'll try that.
$13.
It looks like a little bit of both. There's some deliveries that they've just pulled off a cart that's like outside, and someone's kind of wheeling away as you look at it, and you think from that you believe that what's happening is the person directing it is trying to make space that is separated from other things. So everything is separated, and they're trying to move in these new crates of boxes that just came into its own little space in here. It is not well organized.
Can we tell who's in charge?
Yeah, probably. There is a gentleman right in the lower right here, right there, with the little beard. He's looking over a crate. You can hear him. Okay, so right over there, slide this over. Let's not let these touch. bring the fresh foods, put them there. So he's definitely directing things immediately. And as he turns to say that, he looks at you and says, well, just keep working. I'll be back. And he walks over to you, Gooseneck, Corncob, everybody.
Do these look like crates off a ship, or do they look like transit crates from the interior of the island?
Some of them absolutely look like crates off a ship, and some of them look like transit crates. So it looks like a little bit of both, to be honest. But most of these, you would say, are off of a ship.
Can we see any signs of an accident that would have made the loud noises we heard?
Yes. Some of you can, for sure. There is one crate that's fallen. The bottom of it, the wood is cracked just a little bit, kind of flayed out. It's got a big scuff in it, like a dent type of thing. That could have made a pretty loud noise when it was dropped.
Hello, good sir.
So
My companions and I were in the shop next door, and we were just wondering. We heard a large bang and was wondering if we could be of assistance.
Make a deception check.
A deception check.
Well,
okay.
I don't know if you're really there to be of assistance to them. Though you definitely heard it from next door, so make it at advantage.
8. Oh, okay.
There's more than a grain of truth.
11.
Okay. So he looks, goes, I am sorry. We do, of course, try to keep the noise to a minimum, but it sometimes happens. No, I think we have it under control. May I inquire as to your name, sir?
I am Gooseneck, and these are my companions, Corncob, and Pugh, and Abran, and I'm not sure if Kay and Fathom are there.
Kay is definitely peeked around.
Way at the back.
Yeah.
And we were doing some shopping, and we heard the loud bang and wondered what that was, and thought we'd come look and see.
Oh, well, we're moving things, making space. We have new items that have come in recently that we're storing, and the sorts of things we are managing our inventory. I'm sorry, my manner's so rude of me. My name is Johan. I'm the warehouse manager here, and I do, of course, have to inquire. Do you have goods in our warehouse? Are you coming from a ship to store? I did see that the Silver Swan was on the books recently and came to port. Are we storing things for you, perhaps? Are you from the Silver Swan?
We are from the Silver Swan. I do not know. You guys know anybody know if we've got goods coming from the Silver Swan? I would assume probably some.
How did he know we were from the Silver Swan?
Probably because it just
that's
recently
a good
put
question.
in.
Oh.
Faces.
Huh.
A lot of that cut out, Bobby, but we did hear the part where probably because you recently came in, and then I'm going to extrapolate from a word that half came through and said, and your new faces in town.
Okay.
I think, but I know you put it better than that.
That's what I was trying to say.
Were we pretty much the only ship at the dock?
You were not the only ship there, but you were definitely the newest arrival.
Newest.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I just struck me funny.
Yes, we are from the Silver Swan, and I'm not so sure about the cargo. We are in in need of some good hands. Maybe you know of somebody we might be able to talk to about joining our crew. Somebody that's maybe not so butterfingery on dropping crates.
So, what's your passive perception?
My passive perception is 14.
What's your passive insight?
14.
It's both 14. Okay.
Yep.
You're the one right there taking a conversation with him. There's enough time, though. I think as she rounded the corner, Kay was about to say something. Before you read what's on his mind, Kay, what was it you were going to say?
Oh, I was just asking if so they're trying to make room so that the stuff that's getting brought into the warehouse can be stacked kind of in its own little area, separate from the rest of the things they have. Is the rest of the stuff they're storing also kind of piled into discrete areas?
Yes.
Or is this cargo being treated differently?
No, it seems to be treated the same. There are discrete areas. And this is what I meant when I said it was not well organized. They're just discrete piles, and you can tell the dividing space between them, but there's, it's sort of a couple places like that crate bleeds out a little bit close, and they're not tagged or labeled as near as you can tell in any way. It seems like it's all in Johann's head, and he's the one managing moving it around.
Okay.
So in your conversation, Gooseneck, immediately when you say something about crew, Johann gets visibly uncomfortable, probably, and says, "Oh, well, I wouldn't know the best crew for a ship. Of course, I could. If you were looking to work in the warehouse or for crew to work on a warehouse, I might be able to help you out there. But most people go to the Jagged Blade for."
Fair enough. Fair enough. I was just asking, just inquiring. Maybe you knew somebody who was, looking for work. But we will definitely go to the Jagged Blade.
I'm going to, since I'm at the back, I imagine I'm mostly out of earshot. I want to message Gooseneck with my little message cantrip and have him ask if there's been any cargo offloaded from the Starfish or the Bloody Anchor.
I'll ask him. So I was just curious, has there been any cargo offloaded from the Starfish or the Bloody Anchor?
Oh, my. Wow, we haven't seen the Bloody Anchor for quite a few months. But the Starfish did make a stop recently. They typically don't store things for long here. Foodstuffs is what the Starfish specializes in. They're more of a, well, I guess they also do some live captures, but we don't ask for that kind of thing here. So I think they did offload something on the Starfish. I'm not sure if they put it back on that ship or a different one, but it wasn't within my purview.
Just curious. We have mates who crew both of them, so we were just wondering. They'd made port.
I understand. They did make port, and it's a small world. We all know people somewhere. If I may, I've got some boxes to move. And sort of says, "It's a pleasure meeting you," and extends his hand again.
Thanks for your time.
And turns around and walks off to some carts and says, to some more of the boxes, goes up to somebody and says, "Why don't we slide that over just a little bit more?" And goes right back into moving stuff around or having it moved around.
Well, I'm going to turn around and start heading out. I'll quietly whisper to anybody else. Is everybody happy with the result Is there anything else we need to look in there for?
Not at the moment, I don't think.
No.
So let's head back to accommodations.
Okay.
We have accommodations
On the ship.
Oh, that's right. We're
I mean, I would assume that in a busy port or a port like this, there might be some secrets to know about that warehouse, but I'm not sure if we want to get into it in terms of secret rooms or secret places to hide secret stuff.
If we do want to look into that, it might be better to do that at another time.
right.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Then away
So
you
we're
go.
heading back to the ship.
Back to the ship.
Hey, does anybody want to go check out the hot springs?
Sure.
Sure, why
Go
not?
check out the hot springs.
Very relaxing.
It did. Now, let's see, how far... did I mention the direction of the hot springs and the proximity to the tent city that they were at?
You did mention that the tent city was near the hot springs.
Okay. Just wanted to confirm. Good.
Hey, am I carrying the Warhammer? The +2 Warhammer?
Yeah, I think you made 2 full exchanges. One was the Warhammer and one was for the spores.
Yeah.
So those are done
Well,
deals.
it was yes, it was Pugh that got the Warhammer. I just didn't know if I was carrying it.
Oh, well, I guess that's up to... I think you are. And
Okay.
I don't see a reason why.
Well, it's
you
up to
would not.
Pugh, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Right. Okay.
It was his spores that got us the Warhammer.
It was a dart for the Warhammer or something like that.
Yeah, it was the poison, the
that's right.
psychotropic dart that got the Warhammer.
That's right.
Poop darts.
Yeah, the poop darts got the Warhammer, and the spores were just cash.
Okay. So Pugh, can I carry the Warhammer? Okay, great.
Awesome. Okay, then let's do the hot springs. I am excited. Hot springs. Everybody loves hot springs, right? No? Maybe.
Sounds relaxing.
It always sounds relaxing. So it's a little bit of a trek, though not too far. It wouldn't be too far from the city. And I would love for all of you to make perception checks as you're walking through this very jungle-like area.
Oh, I would love to do that. Just passive perception?
You can't get lower than your passive perception, but you could get higher if you roll.
Because I also have a pretty good wilderness survival. So. I got a 14, which is using my default.
Yeah. Okay, 14, Bobby. What'd Pugh get?
11.
Okay, well, you know.
What's his passive? He rolled a 2.
Oh, well.
Right there with you.
Gooseneck?
17 plus 4, 21.
Ooh.
Wow.
21. All right.
He's seeing stuff that isn't even there yet.
Well, possibly.
I'm in the jungle. It's my lizard senses.
The lizard sensibilities. I like it. Abram?
15.
15. Okay. And Fathom?
I too am doing the passive, which is 11.
Okay. And Kay?
I got a nat 20 on the die, which gives me a 27.
Ooh. Okay.
She
of you,
perceived the crap out of the jungle.
Yeah.
I think so. And
I'm
then
in space now.
two of you have a super good idea of what's going on. So it is not too difficult to. How do I go with that? So it is not entirely without nature, of course, in this jungle. It's still quite natural, and there are a good number of very typical jungle life creatures. You imagine some of the dangers are still quite prevalent that would be in a jungle, but this is also well traveled, and more so than that, you notice, both of you, as you were going, what distinctly looked like a patroller. So there was at least once where you were sure, and then, well, twice when twice when Kay was sure that they saw an actual individual out there on what is clearly like a patrol. So the path out this way definitely has some guarding, I guess is the best way to say. It is not completely left to nature. So it is civilized still. It is a jungle, though. So some things can come in, but nothing really, you think, would go completely unnoticed in a place like this. I think that's kind of one of the bottom lines that you would get to from that. Like, there is clearly someone out here that watched you travel and make your way through to the hot springs.
So it's like a commercial travel to the hot springs.
Yeah, I mean, it's more like if you went to a state park that never gets used.
Okay.
More like that. So clearly, people do go here, but it's just not real common. Trying to grab the people that will be there. There we go. All right. At the moment. You can also, with that 27, you see the path kind of veer off, and it looks as though it goes to, you think in one location, a very large tent. You saw the top of it as you were walking for a little bit.
So that's probably the trail heading off to the tent city.
Yep. You could easily assume such a thing. Ooh, that took longer than I wanted to put it on that camera. Guess I needed to organize it a little better. But this would be your approach to the hot springs. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Very nice.
As you kind of come through, the jungle is sort of, like I said, a little bit domestic, but you can absolutely hear the sounds kind of quite normally out there, off in the trees and such. So it's not devoid of life, it's just unusually domesticated. Two people you notice are at the hot springs already. The steam is sort of rising up around the area. Are you trying to be stealthy as you approach, or are you just, walking along the trail normally, chatting?
I'm not trying to be stealthy.
Do we have a reason to be stealthy?
I don't think so.
Well, I'm not trying to be. I mean, I would think that if we're stealthy and people caught us being stealthy, it would be worse than not being stealthy at all.
It's my curiosity to know. Okay, so yeah, when one of them looks up and just, oh, hello, come along. It's been so quiet here recently, and it's sort of,
Normally, more people visit the hot springs.
oh, I think so. I think attendance is rather low right now. Everyone's busy. But
So,
come on
do
in.
you run this joint, or are you just a patron, a user of this joint?
I don't know if anyone runs this. There's no fees to be collected. I do sometimes run into town to get things and items for people on their gold coin, of course, if they need it. So I'm more of a assistant to the natural order of how it works here.
Okay. How does it work?
Well, people come. Usually, there's a nice little log over there that's a good drying log for clothes and items. And put their items there and clamber into the spring and have a nice, relaxing time. After 10 or 15 minutes, they often send me along to get some wine, perhaps, for them, a snack they forgot to bring.
What is that?
I don't know.
Somebody's making a margarita to hang out at the hot springs.
Yeah, that sounds great.
It's the water
That's
just
Michelle.
kicking in.
Michelle's making a blender. She's making one of her smoothies.
They ask for wine, a margarita, perhaps.
Frozen. Yeah, I'll take a frozen margarita.
And I'm happy to run and fetch things, of course, for you if you need them. But other than that, I lounge around in it a bit myself.
Does she seem like a normal human?
That's a pretty serious damn blender you guys have.
It's funny. It's not really that loud.
It's just the right frequency.
Yeah, I was going to say you might need a RF filter on that.
She seems like a pretty normal human being. There's nothing seemingly.
She's not like a creature that lives in a spring or water.
Not that you notice, no.
Detect magic.
Are you going to detect magic, Gooseneck?
No. I said can fathom where somebody detects magic.
That's a good idea.
I can no longer do that. Days probably do it. I switched identification.
You switched. Oh, you switched. Okay, so it's not going to be you. Okay. Oh, she says, "Come in. My name is Margaret. If you need me, I will go off here and I'll leave you to your thing. But if you need me, just call. I'll be out, just lounging over there. I've got a bit of a stew making."
Huh.
Weird, but okay.
I will put on the goggles and take a peek around.
Making a stew, and you want us to go sit in a hot bowl of water?
Making a stew.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
He's watching over her stew. So you put on the goggles and you look around, Kay, and it does not seem to have any magical items here that stand out as unusual. So it's nothing actually strikes you of interest in the goggles at all.
All right, I will put them away and kind of shrug, so let everybody know that there's nothing stands out here.
About that time, you see sort of a young woman just come out from around where some rocks were. She seems to be carrying, it looks like some sort of maybe something you can't quite tell from the distance in a giant leaf of one of the plants. Comes walking over to where Margaret went for the stew. She just kind of comes around and is carrying something over to her to help. She kind of stops, startles a little bit at everybody being there, and then just it brushes it off and continues on her path.
So this is like her assistant or something, we're assuming? She's working with her to make stew?
You could assume such a thing, yes.
It's the witch's apprentice.
Doesn't look like an arm or something's going in the stew, doesn't it?
No, not that you could see. I mean, you could creep in there closer if you're really...
That'd be a little bit on the nose, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to observe from over here.
That weird Thulsa Doom soup.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like the idea of taking off all my stuff and putting it on the log while I'm in the water either.
Well,
I'm going to go over to the spring and stick my feet in.
Okay.
Sit down and
Gooseneck's not
put
gonna...
my feet in.
He's going to enjoy some... Okay, so as you approach the spring, there is a slight odor.
Good.
Little sulfuric as you're coming over there. Just mildly in the air. And you stick your feet in there, Gooseneck, and it is hot. This is a hot spring. This is about, we put it in modern terms just to give you a good idea, maybe 107, 108 degrees. It's
that's nice. That's nice and warm.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm just going to relax with my feet in there. Look in the water. Do I see any like critters or anything?
Nope. No, nothing in the water but your feet at the moment.
My feet. How clear is the water? And how deep is it? Does it go?
It looks like if you went to the center, it's pretty clear, so it's hard to tell unless you go, but it does kind of go down in a bowlish, slight bowl. So if you just stood on the edge here, it'd probably be up to your knees. And then you guess it could be just a little over your head in the center. You might not want to go that deep.
Well, being a cleric of nature, I'm going to remind the lizard man that, if you get too warm, all your eggs are going to be female.
I'm just soothing my feet.
You say that like it's a bad thing, Corncob.
Well, just as long as as long as it's known, it's not a bad thing. It just
female lizard folk are just as fierce, maybe fiercer.
Yeah, I didn't mean anything else by it other than that could happen. Raise your temperature of your surroundings like that.
You're saying it might affect my cloaca?
I don't know. I'm not that kind of cleric.
I'm not that kind of cleric.
You might have to ask Nature Boy about that.
Your cloaca's safe as long as you keep it sealed.
There you go.
Good. Okay.
Well,
I'm going to enjoy my little soak here. So you guys...
If I'm wearing a ring of water walking, can I just stick my feet in the water?
Yeah, you decide if it's. You have to.
Okay.
Mentally.
There's a choice.
Yeah. So okay. I mean, there is a choice, which and just an important note about that fact, if it ever comes up, like if you get knocked out, you're not laying on the water. You're sinking in it.
Yeah,
you're consciously make it work.
No. Yeah.
Good to know.
Yes. Yeah, so you can go put your feet in if you want, Fathom.
I will soak my feet.
Okay. Excellent.
Try not to get my nice magic shirt wet, though.
Right, of course. I mean, if you did, it would be dry pretty quick, I'm guessing, but understood.
This is how big that spring is, more or less.
Yeah, more or less. There's probably
How
a
deep
little.
does it seem in the center?
It is hard to say. You're gonna guess anywhere from 5 to 6.5, 7 feet.
Oh, okay.
You could be off a little bit, but you're not sure exactly. I am going to. Oh yeah.
Well, I'm not going to bother walking out and checking it then.
Yeah, it's not like a big endless thing. So you get in there. You're dangling your feet. What are you going to do, Abran? Just to ask directly.
Abran is unsure of this place. We can only see the two people, correct? And
yeah,
I'm assuming that Gooseneck and Kay told us that they saw patrols around that while we were hiking.
Yeah.
Yes. Abran wants to hang off on the periphery a little bit and keep an eye out to see, is there anybody watching us? I'd like to not go too far, but keep an open eye, investigate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of move out and about a little bit. That's fine.
Yeah. Are there any animals around?
There are definitely smaller animals. It seems like larger ones probably would have been run off, but there are insects and frogs, and lizards, snakes, spiders. Well, quite a bit.
Okay.
Then
I'd like to look for any
like squirrels or
no
squirrels
you go
or foxes or weasels or Kolinsky sable weasels.
Well, in this area, you don't know any mammalian life necessarily.
Okay.
Are there any tracks that lead off in an odd direction from around this thing? Not so much animal tracks, but human pathways.
Make a survival check, Corncob. And as
23.
You
26.
You see a couple of paths actually. Also, unfortunately, the rain starts to come down while you're out here. It's not cold rain by any means, so there's that. But it is beginning to rain while you're out here looking at the tracks. You see at least two paths that go out that look pretty well traveled. One is sort of goes to, it looks like where they're making this stew, where Margaret has the stew on, a small fire, and then kind of beyond it a little bit, like, I don't know, there's a living area. That one's also in the direction of the tent city, so it's possible that it cuts across from the tent city to here.
Yeah, that's the stuff I'm looking for.
And then there is another one that kind of goes off the other way, as though if you came from the tent city and intersected this, it would cut across and continue out the other side.
Okay. Does it look like there's anything coming in at an odd angle where the log is? Like out from the brush or anything like that?
Very interesting. I see what you're getting at. So just I want to clarify your intent. You intend to see if perhaps there's a normal path for coming and filching people's clothes and gear as they set it on the log to dry.
Yeah, where you could just jump out, snatch something, and jump back into the woods or whatever.
Yeah, you don't note anything like that over there.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right, that's what you wanted to know, right?
Yeah, the only other thing I'd do is look at the sky for thunderheads.
Yeah, it looks like some clouds rolled in quickly and it's raining. Margaret and their assistant just look up for a minute and then quickly pull some, like a quick little cover just over the fire part, and they're continuing to get wet themselves. They don't pay it much heed, honestly, except for to make sure that it doesn't extinguish the flames.
Cool.
Pugil, what were you saying? Pugil?
He didn't have his headset on.
Oh, he took it off for a moment. Okay.
Yep.
Um,
He put up his finger in a wait a second, give me a minute kind of thing.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Sorry about that. My wife called me.
What?
And I thought it was an emergency, but it wasn't. All is well. I would like the only little animals we see around are reptiles and amphibians. We don't see any little mammals.
No, not really. You haven't. You know that here you should see some wild boar probably of some sort somewhere, but you just haven't happened to see them. Maybe they're, I don't know. You're not sure the reason.
Okay, I'll talk to one of the smarter looking lizards, and with my capacity to speak to small beasts.
Okay.
No, not the smarter lizards. And inquire, try to pass the idea that I would like to know: is this a safe place? Are the people and the creatures who frequent this a safe?
Oh, yeah. Good food. Scraps. Good.
And the big people are safe too? The large creatures?
Yes. Safe. Okay. Safe. Not. Yes, safe.
Not.
You're talking to a lizard on a rock. So
yeah.
I'm not entirely. They're there. They're looking at you with one eye. They're kind of clung to the side of the rock, going, safe.
I think you were doing better with the trees. You're talking about the trees.
The lizard does not look. I mean, you said one of the smarter looking. It's maybe you should have went for one that was running away. This one was kind of sticking there, wondering.
Ones you can't see because it's hiding from the predators.
But yeah, this lizard's like, yes, and then says scraps again, and you feel like it's a question now.
He says what?
Food.
Scraps. Food. Oh yeah. I'll pick off a piece of bologna or whatever I happen to have in my pocket and give it to him.
His head snaps around, grabs it.
Bologna is good. It's gnome bologna.
And sort of scrambles up the rock higher.
Nice and warm too.
Yeah, it's been in my pocket.
And sulfurous.
Warm.
And that was the last day for the lizard.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know about that. It's the day he becomes a Gila monster. No. So he's on top of the rock now. Kind of bobs a little bit, looks at you, and looks at everybody else, and then begins to move off, kind of slowly over the top.
All right. Yeah, he answered my question. The place is safe for lizards.
Yeah.
Feel good, Gene?
I'm loving life. I'm soaking my feet, feeling good, man.
Safe for lizards that take bologna from strangers.
Hey, you got any more of that bologna?
Yeah.
All right, so I know now what three of you are doing. Kay, what are you doing?
I feel like everybody else is being plenty paranoid. I'm just going to go ahead and take off my stuff and leave it by the stump or tree trunk or whatever it was, and go get in the spring. Although I'll pick a side where I can watch the log.
Okay. No problem. You it's Actually, the log seems pretty well worn. You can pick a corner over here that's still relatively close to the log, yet affords you the ability to get out quickly and get to something should you need to.
Good enough.
And just so you can see how close the log is to the spring you're at, it's right over there. So your stuff is just right on top.
It's a sizable log. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's not a little. No, it's a big fallen tree. So as you're kind of lounging around, Abran, you went out to patrol a little bit.
Yes.
Make a survival check as you're out there.
18.
You see some tracks that concern you a little bit. It looks like something. Well, first you see a large wild boar tracks, and so you look at it for a little bit. You follow it just a little bit unusually, and then you see an area where an entire bush has been uprooted, and the boar's tracks scramble around. It looks like something grabbed it and yanked it away. And this is not a small animal. This thing was, easily something like 600 pounds. Whatever grabbed it just...
The boar was 600 pounds.
The boar was probably 600 pounds, yeah. So whatever grabbed it, yanked it away, dragged it, kicking and screaming through the trees, was bigger than that.
Can I tell how fresh this was?
What was your roll again?
Did I say 18? I think I said 18.
I think you said 18.
Yeah. I have a 13 plus 5.
You think it was probably yesterday sometime.
Mm-hmm.
You smell any boar stew on the wind?
Was there any? It was just scrapes and everything. There's no blood or gore or anything left over from this snatching.
Mm-mm.
And I can tell how far where it went.
Yeah, you can tell the direction that it was dragged. Yeah.
Does that direction? It's off in a different direction than everything else? Than the tent city or than anything else that we're aware of, landmark-wise?
Yeah, it's off in a different direction than tent city or any of the landmarks, yes.
Okay. Well, I want to... I'm going to continue my patrol, but I'm working my patrol back towards the hot springs.
Okay.
I'm not headed directly back there, but I'm making a circle kind of around.
Sure. No problem. So you make your circle around, you get back to the hot springs. I don't think you would have taken too extremely long.
And if I'm back at the hot springs, I'll convey what I learned about there's this 600-pound boar that was easily snatched away by something that's probably definitely worth us rolling initiative on. And if there's anybody, maybe that's a side mission at some point.
So there's some.
But we want to be
here.
there isn't just tiny lizards
big enough
and
to drag off a 600-pound boar.
Yes, and it wasn't. Wow. I mean, how far away did I find this?
Probably wasn't King Kong. They wouldn't have to drag it.
That's a good question. It was probably a good. You would think 150 yards or so from this place, at least.
Okay, so I convey that it isn't all that far away from where we are, and it's easy to. It's at least a day old. Is that right? Is that accurate to say?
Yep, it's at least a day old.
Why don't you ask one of the attendants if they know anything about it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'll ask. I'll ask. I'll report what I saw out there, my findings, and that it was a 600-pound-ish boar that was kind of easily snatched away. What they've been here a while. What do they think that is capable of snatching away a giant boar? And are they concerned about anything like that, being that close to their hot springs?
So Margaret turns around, sort of dusts her hands off a little bit. Says, we heard some large sounds coming from the jungle yesterday. We didn't investigate. We thought it perhaps a little dangerous to do so. But
Any history of large predators?
There are some large predators about. We've heard quite a few stories, and of course, people who've gone out to hunt them have sometimes never returned, and sometimes returned with nothing. So our stories are inconclusive. Most people don't poke their nose into it, since it only tends to happen out, well, let's say no one's ever been snatched up and taken who is
Do the boars ever come here to drink or to climb into the hot springs?
I've never seen a boar in the hot springs. I have seen a few monkeys from time to time, but the boars don't.
I was hoping there'd be monkeys.
But yes, the boars don't, that I know. So I wouldn't worry about that. I'm here quite often. The only thing that there's just the travelers and a bird or two occasionally, but they don't stay long. It's a little hot for them. You're asking, so was there, is something amiss? Should I be concerned? Is there
if it's only 150 yards away, and this thing that took this boar, I'm assuming, is pretty huge. I think 150 yards isn't that far to get to here. Is there any protections on this hot springs? Why that size of a creature has never investigated easy pickings of naked people in a pool?
No.
Is this a recent thing of the monsters, or has this been something that's been going on for quite a while?
Make a persuasion check. You kind of set her back on the defensive a little bit.
Okay. How about a 9? How about a hot 9?
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. I meant to say you're on the path to setting her on the defensive. A 9 is just about perfect to finish it off. Says, well, cool. We've never let any harm come to the people in here. Not that we're in charge of it or anything, but it has been a more recent occurrences. We've seen disturbances, but nothing around here. Most creatures tend not to want to engage in relations with humanoids. We're quite frightening to the wildlife most of the time.
I would just hazard a guess that something that could take a 600-pound boar may not be as shy as most of the other critters around here.
Yeah. It's kind of off topic, but if either of you were a were creature, what would you be?
The stew is done if you'd like some.
Yeah,
is it boar stew by any chance?
Yeah.
Just there is boar in it, but it's a common animal in here.
Must be fresh boar. Hope
Must
it's fresh.
Be a big pot if it's a 600-pound boar.
It's not a big pot. It's probably a 3-gallon cauldron.
Oh,
Did anybody ask where these gals live? Like, where do they sleep? Do they sleep there at the hot springs, or do they? Did anybody ask that? Okay, I'd like to ask her that since I'm in mid
Go ahead.
conversation about to piss her
Enjoy
off
that.
further.
Okay.
So, do you guys you work here during the day? At night, do you reside in the tent city, or do you go all the way back to the main port city?
Oh, tent city, of course.
Tent city.
It's affords us the comfort that we need, and it's free.
How we are intending on visiting the tent city. Is there anything we should be on the lookout for? Anybody that we should introduce ourselves to?
Well, often people on ships are visiting friends or taking up residence. So I guess I would ask, what are your intentions in our home away from the activity and prying eyes of those who come through the port?
Well, it may already be known, but we are looking to re-staff some open positions on our ship. We have inquired at the Jagged Edge or the Carotid Blade, or I forget the name of the place. But
And we're looking for
and
slot
so
lovers.
yeah, and oh, that's a good point too. I do and we're on a little investigative tour of. Are you familiar with slods? And I ask it in such a way that I pretend like I don't know much about them, which I really don't. It's probably not hard.
So, yeah, no deception check needed. She says, I'm not familiar with that. Is it a land creature?
That's a good question. They seem to be able to take the form of humans or occupy them, or that's more for our demonic warlock to answer.
Shapeshifters, demonic, and she looks over your
Yeah.
shoulder at
No.
people in the pool.
I
Damn
only
them
jest.
horns,
She's
that's all
not.
we gotta
She's
say,
not
right?
openly demonic. She's not openly. She's not. She's a good sort of demonic.
Wow, we know who's not in charge of PR anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. So
Well, now they know why trouble follows us everywhere we go.
Right. Starts with an A and ends with an N.
I'm not familiar with these creatures, so
Okay.
I'm sorry. It is hot. The rain sort of cools down a little bit, and then ends. It's like it started warm, and as it rained, it got a little bit cooler, and then just when you started thinking, wow, this water is probably a little bit cool, the rain stops, and I wouldn't say the sun comes back out necessarily just immediately, but the jungle kind of goes back to the rest of what it's doing in life.
So, just a little meta here. Didn't we come here to the pool to investigate the slot? Isn't that why we're here? Because they were seen hanging out here, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
this is where the tadpoles are, the slot
Yeah.
tadpoles.
The ship.
There-
Go ahead.
I think there was something we saw in their notebooks about the 3 places they spent their time here were the pub, the shop, and the hot springs.
Okay, so why don't we ask? I'm going to ask the woman about. I'm going to get out of the hot spring and go over, and I'm going to ask her, "Hey, do you recollect seeing either of these guys? Describe them and."
Oh yes, the brothers, I believe. Yes, they came. They came quite regularly a few months ago while they were waiting for a ship. I remember them well. so organized, wonderful, a great help from time to time.
A great help. They helped you?
So
Well, they lived in the
organized.
tent city a lot, and they did help us hunt some game once or twice.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wipe out the whole tent city.
No, that was probably before they got occupied by the Slav. Or their
Mm.
not their, their persona.
You got
Don't
tent city
disappoint
full of
Abraham,
slod. You
Fathom.
got a spawning pool right here. I think it pretty much says
Is
it
that
all
really
right
how you
there.
make slime in a pool?
I have
Yeah.
no idea.
Sounds good.
You don't know that's not the way.
Mm.
What ship were they associated with? Do you know?
They were hired onto a ship. I think they came and got their stuff. I'm just trying to remember. Make a persuasion check, Pugh.
Oh, come on now. 21.
Oh, okay. So the younger girl sort of dips a little bit and says, "It was the Silver Swan that they were hired on."
Hmm. And there was nothing unusual about them that you noticed prior to their departure? They seemed
Very cleanly folk.
very cleanly.
Oh,
I suppose
They
clean.
that's
bathe
not
in the pool often?
unusual. They were in the hot tub a lot, but they also used the river to bathe. We all bathed, but they were morning and evening, extra concerned, perhaps.
Wow. That'll dry your
Huh.
skin out.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a
The
lot of
entire time
bathing.
you knew them.
Oh yes, daily.
They did.
And they did live in the tent city, is what you said earlier.
Yes, yes.
And they organized things in the tent city and helped you out.
They organized, yeah. Well, organized. I'm not sure, but they were very organized individuals in how they left their camp, and they said they would go hunt and then come back with some food when they did. So they were very organized. Yes.
Huh.
Do you remember where they lived? Could you show us where they lived in the tent city?
Yes, I could. Those I could show you where they had their tents. They left them, so they're still there, but occupied now by new residents.
Is that unusual
would-
for people to leave their tents?
Sometimes, yes. But other times, no. If they've been offered a good wage on a good ship and they know there's no need to take a heavy canvas accoutrement that they'll no longer need with them.
Ah, okay. So this is our hiring pool as well.
Oh, many people looking for ships who are itinerant through this area do live in these cities. Yeah. If they've been in town for more than a week and haven't found a lot of luck, most people end up at least thinking of taking up residence there.
How would we know which tent was theirs if we wanted to visit it?
Oh, I could show it to you.
That might be helpful.
Of course. Would you like to wait to evening a little bit? I'd like to not abandon my position here, if that's okay. You could enjoy the rest of the day at the hot pool. You've only got a few more hours at most.
So what's the structure of this tent city? Is it like an autonomous collective?
I would say so. There's not really a ruler. You just come together, suggest that we might need some food, and volunteer to get it. And others, keep to themselves and don't really put in much. And some of those who don't put in much take out more than perhaps they add. And some put in more than they take out. So in the end, it weighs itself out.
Bunch of hippies.
Slot-loving hippie commune.
I don't think we need to worry unless the hot spring lady tries to give somebody a sword.
Yeah. True.
Or turns into a slot.
I do think we need to go to the tent city, though. And I do think that's where we're going to wind up hiring people.
All right. So
Or
are we
killing
going
people,
to
one or the other.
are we
Hire
going
or kill.
to let her finish her shift and
Sure.
hang out at the spring, or are we
I mean,
gonna
our
Sure,
understanding
the best
was
time
that
to
Slot
approach a tent city is at night. So.
not organized. So I don't think they were slod. Well, she knew them. It seems like maybe it was like right before they got on the boat.
Did Slod seem disorganized?
Or while they were
Yes.
on the boat.
Agents of chaos.
Agents of chaos are what Slod are.
Maybe
very
it might have
organized
happened to
agents of
them.
chaos?
It
Might
can
have happened to
mean-
them in Vin.
Yeah, it's true. Could have.
Maybe the organization might have been just a front.
Well, we had their diary to know kind of when they left off being
Yeah,
organized.
but
Pretty
you,
organized to keep a diary.
what you noticed
Yeah.
is all the entries in the, well, most of the entries in the, I'll review it because I think I remember it, right? If I didn't, I'm in trouble. When we're all in trouble. Most of the entries were pretty organized, but they tapered off. It's like they were very rigorous. There were entries daily, and then the entries got less and less and less. And then there was also some commentary on maybe a little disinterest in some of the jobs and tasks they were given and items like that.
So did they cover the tent city at all in the diary?
They did. They talked about the tent city. They talked about going out on a hunt or two. They didn't really proclaim in that diary that they were helpful members of the tent city or anything like that. They just talked about living there, hunting some meals. There was an entry excited the first time they got a big boar and brought it back. But it didn't stand out. But that's how you knew that Tent City was one of the places they went. There was some entries in their diary specifically mentioning it.
But they didn't mention any other personalities in the tent city.
No, in fact,
okay.
If you look at it from that perspective, they didn't much mention other personalities at all.
All right.
They kept to themselves.
Yeah, I mean, if they mentioned the captain, they would say the captain, not, the captain was grumpy or the captain was happy, or it would be the captain asked us to do this. The captain told us to do this. We did this for, Bob, but they weren't fleshed out personalities, and they spoke to other people or about other people.
They didn't emote.
Even when they were in Tent City.
Even when they were in Tent City.
They're too busy keeping clean.
Something weird about these guys.
Yeah.
So the day moves on a little bit. It starts to get a little dusky, and night kind of begins to start to settle over. And you can see him wrapping up.
Does anybody else visit the hot spring during the course of the rest of the day?
Abran, I'll let you decide by making a percentile dice roll. And if we get to 80 or above, then you do.
Okay. 34.
No. You were the only visitors today.
Wow. Why are people missing out on this hot spring?
Are they consuming the stew themselves?
Yeah, they're eating it. They're passing it on.
Did they offer us any?
Yeah.
Not that I want any, but did they offer us any?
Yeah, they do offer it. And then they also they sort of pack it up, put a lid on it, carry it, and put it over their shoulder. It looks like they're going to take it back to the city with them.
When they offer gooseneck, we'll eat some.
Okay. It's definitely boar. It's probably fresh. It might be a day old, but that could be correlation. And that's all?
It's good. Boar.
But it's not chicken.
But it's not chicken.
These
Tastes
two
like chicken.
These two people don't seem to have any weapons.
The other
with
white
them.
meat.
They do not seem to have any weapons
Oh.
with them. No.
So they
And
can
they say,
take down a bull without any weapons. That's great.
Are you ready to go?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. What's your walking order through here? Just
I'll go second.
okay. So I'm
I'd like
I'm going
to
to
be
ask them where they
they're-
got the boar for the stew.
Okay. Okay. So they're leading, and then you're second. So behind them immediately, or are you saying Gooseneck goes first?
Well, if
I'd say
it can be
standard
2 by
marching
2,
order. I'll take
Yeah.
the
2 by
the
2?
rear.
Yeah, 2 by 2 is good. Oh, you'll take the rear, Gooseneck. All right. Abran,
Yeah.
you want to be up there with Corncob?
Of course.
Okay. And we'll put Kay and Gooseneck in the back. All right. Mostly.
and a soft, creamy middle right in the center.
Yeah, the big tasty bits right in the
A
center.
little gnome nugget.
The good parts.
Gnome nuggets. Oh, what a
Gnome
treat.
nuggets.
What a delight.
Yeah, little gnome nuggets.
Well, not yet. I think what's in the stew pot was actually boar.
Sure tasted like it could have been a little long pig, but it sure tasted like
Yeah.
a boar.
So
So you
while we're
asked
walking,
where
I
they
do
got it.
want to ask them how they got the boar.
Okay.
They trapped it, or they hunted it, or they traded for it.
Oh, we pulled it from a snare. We didn't hunt it ourselves. Well, we did have to kill it, though. I have a knife. And she pats her thigh.
So I'm whispering to my fellow party people, we can't actually hire anyone unless we want to get into the whole Bentor situation, can we?
Let's kill Bentor.
Like, have we decided we're just going to pay Bentor, or that we're going to add Bentor?
We've been assigned
gonna
from the
end
captain to at least initiate some interest, I thought, and do a pre-screening.
Right, but if
The
we do
Bentor
that,
thing
weren't we gonna try to find somebody else first outside of Bentor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got a wizard to kill too.
I
don't know
was
if we
mostly
had-
just. I just want Bentor to be disarmed by our offer of money. I didn't really care if we hired who he said to hire.
Disarmed literally or figuratively?
Figuratively.
Don't know if we had
Okay.
expressed a plan specifically for working with Bentor or going around Bentor, but there was some interest in figuring out what was up with him and seeing if something needed to be done about it.
Yes.
You're chatting, you're making it through. You can't see the tents. It's kind of, you're heading the right direction. You assume so as well, those who don't know. Everybody here has a passive perception of 8 or higher, right?
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
Where do the 14 start? Who's under 14?
Me.
You, Joel, Fathom. Oh, the center. Okay. So
The meaty, the soft middle.
the soft, gooey center.
Yeah.
So
Does not pay attention.
La la la.
Let's see. Hold on a moment. As you're kind of walking through, you absolutely there is like a weird silence that you feel almost, Kay. You're very aware passively of it, that it suddenly gets kind of silent. And you only go about, 30 feet. And then that silence is too loud for you. And you notice a large, you couldn't have seen it from the approaching angle, but as you kind of look back, just in this deafening silence, you see a very large shadow kind of lean down, just a little too slowly.
Ugh.
For it to be a tree. So you immediately see it, and you see a massive shape coming in towards the center of the group, but it's moving a little slowly. You have time to warn and react when this happens. The people in the back also see this. So, well, you're in the back. Those in the front who have passed it have just noticed it's been a little bit sketchy, and you hear a huge roar.
Ah!
Ah, damn it, Weeby.
Who sculpted that?
Damn it,
Damn it, Weeby.
And it looks like the edge of this giant rock outcropping you were walking by moves and moves towards the center of the group. Right
Does
there
it
is
have
exactly
like boar around its mouth?
it's got a little boar hanging out of one tooth. That's the middle of the game. We're gonna have to take a break, though. I can't even say roll initiative. We're at the.
I hope it speaks lizard man, whatever it is.
It doesn't swallow the lizard man. It's like lizard man's in its mouth almost already.
So that's its entire move to get to that point, though, before most of you notice it. And some of you are well aware by that time. All right, so we'll get back to find out what happens.
Nothing. We're just going to ignore it.
When we get back.
Eaten.
push the button. Just push
For
the
the love
button.
of
Justin get to tell us to do what
Justin's
God.
had a stroke.
I know.
Yeah, we'd have
He's
been
normally
back
caught in
15 minutes
traffic.
ago, but Justin expected us
Yeah.
to behave before he would turn it back on.
Right.
So
I'm gonna ban your IP from this channel, Justin.
Oh,
Whoa.
yeah? What is my IP, Bobby?
I don't know, but I'll.
does Bobby know what an
Universal
IP
one.
is?
Weeby can help me. He'll
I'll
figure it
figure it
out.
out.
All gone.
If you missed before the break, this big creature, like I don't know, looks kind of like a Tyrannosaurus Rex or something, came out.
Weeby perpetrated.
However,
I changed my mind. You know, when you said, "Are you going to wait till the evening when they're done?" I think no. I think we should have just left back then.
It might have been a good idea. But that was why I was asking the question.
I want to do that instead. Oh, look at that!
I mean, but that might be Schrodinger's dinosaur, and it would just show up whenever we got there.
Yeah,
Could
that's
be.
usually what happens.
I might have had
Well,
something
then
else.
let's
if it
pretend we
wasn't-
never saw
if
it, and
was
we'll be
daytime,
fine.
though.
Yes.
Oh, it's
Yeah, in
something
daytime
else
it was
in
the
daytime.
monkeys.
But
told
we'll
you,
never
we're on
know.
Skull
It is
Island.
Schrodinger's dinosaur. So, because of the vigilance of Kay,
Who didn't miss a giant dinosaur?
who? Well, I mean, it was
Did.
completely still and undistinguishable in the rock face behind it, and until it
Yeah.
moved. When it moved
Yeah, they
very
are.
stealthily, he immediately picked up on it while everybody else was still kind of walking around. It took everyone else a little while. But due to that, you all get to roll initiative before it gets here. So let's do that.
I forgot how to do combat. Wait a minute.
You should
Oh, wait.
smell its breath.
That
here,
roll was
shouldn't
too low. Let me roll the pizza dungeon dice instead. That's a big difference.
Natural 20.
Right. Okay, so Pugh.
I rolled a 15.
Okay. Gooseneck, what's your total?
Nat 20, 22.
Ooh, corn cob.
I rolled an 11.
Okay, Abran.
18 for Abran.
Fathom.
13.
K.
Also 13.
Okay. Well, this thing spent its turn. It was moving quickly, but it spent its turn moving up to the location it's at, or its movement, and then rolled very low when we came to actual initiative. So now it is going to be Gooseneck.
Okay, I am going to.
Oh, it does. It look intent on snatching you up. There's not much
yeah,
question
well,
in your
that's
mind.
kind of what I thought.
What's its motivation?
I just wanted.
How far? Okay, well, how far away is it from the middle of the group?
Not far enough.
About 20 feet from Pugil.
Like his mouth holes
Definitely
right
not.
next
And
to you.
how far away is it from me?
About 15 feet, but it's going for Pugil.
Oh, it is going for Pugil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
Well,
hors
if
d'oeuvres.
that's the case, I'm
Hors d'oeuvre first.
I'm going to dash forward and try to grab Pugil and Fathom and dive away from it. Dive away
Oh,
from
wow. Okay. So you run in between, you grab
it. Run it
Pugil
and grab them
Fathom.
both and just dive as far as I can. Get out, just get them out of the way of it.
All right.
So
Since
like,
you're
when
the
it
one
comes
that
in and
usually winds up
snaps,
down
it's
its
gonna get just
gullet,
air.
then
It might get
all
my
three of you
tail,
can go.
but hopefully it'll
Try
just
to
get
land
air.
on Fathom.
Now, when you have both of them in your hands, your movement is severely slowed down, so you only
That's fine.
get
That's
a little
fine.
bit. But you've moved them so they're now a good 40 feet away from the mouth of this giant predatorial reptile.
Okay.
If that's what we're going to call it.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Abran.
Abran is going to cast Zephyr Strike. So he has his movement availability, but also he's going to fire his bow at T-Rex. 22 to hit on the first arrow.
Okay, that is a nice. I mean, it's very big. It's hard to miss. That hits it.
Yeah. 14 points of damage on the first one. And then on the second arrow, he has a 30 to hit. And he's going to use Colossus damage. 12 plus 7, 19 more points of damage.
Okay.
And then since I have Zephyr Strike, he's still moving forward. Do I see kind of what direction he's going at? Is he going at me since I just plugged him with 2 arrows?
Well, he was intent on going towards where Pugil is no longer. He definitely sees you, though. You're not sure.
Yeah.
You think he might turn your direction. You feel like he might.
So I'd like to move. So there's a column in between him and I. I would like to move and put the column a little bit more in between us.
There is an old ruin column in between you. You're right. Or there could be. Are you going to move closer to him while you're doing this, or stay the same distance?
Same distance, back off a little bit more, so off to the angle. Yes. Okay. Not quite that far. I don't need to be that far away.
Okay. Remember, everything's exaggerated on the camera.
Yeah.
But okay.
Okay. Sure. And is it too meta to see what the helpers are doing?
Oh no, you can see they're panicked. As soon as the roar happens, and you all draw swords, and Gooseneck's like, "Get down!" and pulls them down. They just turn around. The soup falls to the ground. The stew does.
Okay.
Poof.
I was hoping they'd be witching.
I want to actually. Seeing that part. I like to adjust my movement a little bit away from the stew per se.
Okay.
In case, since we know this guy may love boar.
Okay. You sidestep the stew. No boar-scented shoes for you.
Exactly. Okay.
Pugil.
All right, can I cast a spell even though I've been squashed by a lizard?
Absolutely.
You're about to get swallowed by another lizard. But go ahead.
No,
be nice, or I'll just toss you back.
Yeah.
Toss me back. He's going to have a hard time swallowing me. When he's a hedgehog, I polymorph him into a hedgehog.
Okay, that's a Constitution save? What kind of save is
Wisdom.
that? Wisdom save. How wise is a Tyrannosaurus Rex?
Can't be too wise.
My total is going to be a 6.
You're a hedgehog.
All right. I love it.
Wow.
So then, Pugil, would you say it's also not one of the smart lizards?
What's that?
Yeah. See what happens when you feed the fauna their usual.
Yeah. I'll feed the hedgehog some bologna.
Giant lizard just sort of
cheap.
Well,
he can't scurry that quickly. I'll go pick him up.
Okay. I mean, hedgehogs are.
Does it turn back into a lizard at some point?
Got like an hour.
In an hour, we have an hour of hedgehogness.
Well, cut its head off.
Or if he gets a little boo boo.
Yeah, if he dies as a hedgehog, which not a big trick. They're not like hit point banks. Hedgehogs.
Well, stomp him then. Get rid of him.
No, if you kill him, then he turns back into the big monster. We got an hour.
But he's not dead?
Why are you feeding him with us? Leave him here and then go away?
We should put him somewhere. Like, here's what we do. My opinion would be find a small hole, crevice in the rock.
That
drop him down into it. So when he polymorphs back into a big creature, he gets squeezed out like a Play-Doh fun factory.
Oh, there's a crack in that rock wall over there.
Yeah, that would be my thinking.
But don't hurt him as you stuff him in it.
No.
Yeah.
He's precious. He's
Yeah,
a
you
precious
keep him.
little hedgehog.
Frank, you know you need to have a hedgehog miniature available at all episodes.
So I have, so I have something, but it's not the right kind of hedgehog.
It's the sword wielding Echidnox.
Hey, that works.
Yeah.
Let me just for
Echidnox is worse than the Tyrannosaurus, though.
the heck of it, I suppose. Let me try to find a nice mini. So you run up to him. He is kind of trying to run away. Make a grapple check.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
how do I do that?
Injure him.
It's strength. You have to hold on to him while he's squirming and trying to remove.
Well, I'm going to be
himself
very
from you.
gentle. I'm not going to. I don't want to hurt the little
Oh, of
creature.
course. Yeah, absolutely. You're going to be gentle.
Yeah.
So I make a strength.
We could clear out
roll.
that tent city in a hurry if we wanted to poke around there for a little while.
I rolled an 11. I got no modifiers on my strength.
What if you grab the hedgehog? Hear me out.
Can't hurt it.
We get close to the tent city and then lob it like a grenade into the middle of the tent city.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We could
It's
clear it
going to
out
take
real
damage
fast.
as it lands.
Lizard grenade.
Why would we want to do that?
Chaos.
Because
baby.
we want to investigate all the tents.
No.
Where's
We
Ventor? We could do it on Ventor.
Whoever
yes.
survives, we hire as part of our crew. I
How
say
far
it's a
away
test
is
by
the
fire.
wizard's
Abran
tower?
has graduated from fireballs to Tyrannosaurus grenades. Love it.
So, they notice you're wrangling with a hedgehog, which I cannot find the mini of. My apologies. Instead, we're
too
just going
bad.
to use this.
Reaper
She's
does
a
make
jelly
one.
bean.
It's so tiny.
Ooh.
I have a Dark Souls one with like a rapier and a little leaf over his head. That's
Yeah.
anthropomorphic. I was gonna Dark Swords.
They dropped the stew pot. We could put him in the stew pot. Carry him around.
I'm just gonna use this cat.
If
in
it's
the
not too
meantime.
hot.
So you can
You
run
might be
up,
happy licking up the stew.
grab
Yeah.
this cat.
I'm going
Satiate
to
him.
comfort the hedgehog, feed him a little bit of bologna, and
Hopefully it
instruct
doesn't
our
hurt
pet
him.
elf. No, hedgehogs love bologna. I'm
Can't
gonna
you speak with
instruct-
animals?
I can. I'm going to comfort him,
Okay.
and I will instruct our pet elf to go find a deep crevice to drop this hedgehog down into.
I got your deep crevice.
So
Aren't hedgehogs
I got
spiny?
your. I'll put a
Yep.
doggone hedgehog in it too.
They are spiny.
a little
So,
bit,
so
yeah.
really, this annoyed dinosaur
But you-
hedgehog should be like quilling Bobby right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bobby is gonna have to. Pugh is gonna have to
Except
make an animal handling
Bobby's
check.
calming it with his
Yes.
his bardish powers.
Animal handling, Jackson. Let's get it.
Well,
Literal handling.
If it's resisting me, then
Well,
I
I have a
will.
+4 with animal handling.
It's not resisting any more
I'm
than
not
You can
handling
play
it.
catch without hurting it then.
a hedgehog that was angrily attacking its meal, and then someone has scooped it up. So it's only resisting you insofar as that. So make an animal handling check. Just how calming you
Roll
are
a
to
one.
it. Don't roll,
Roll a
a one.
one.
Let's stand in a circle and toss it back and forth until it
One.
just pops into
I-
a Tyrannosaurus.
I rolled a
again.
9, but
No.
I do have the capacity to speak to small animals.
Okay, so roll at advantage, and you get to talk to it a little bit.
Is there a cliff nearby?
A 12.
A 12. So, I
Yep.
mean, it's not friendly, but you've soothed it from its raging anger.
Yes.
And it was seriously a raging, angry hedgehog.
Yes. Wee.
You're talking about a cliff, and Margaret says, there's a... I don't know what you planned, but you said something about a crack. There's an area where the volcanic steam comes up. It's cracked in the earth, and it's tiny in there.
Is it deep?
believe it goes down quite a ways.
How far away
That may
is
be
this?
the very thing.
It's behind where
This-
it's not too far from here. I think
This
it's
seems
the hot
like a
springs.
kaiju origin story to me.
Yes.
A hedgehog into a volcano.
Yes. Can you take us to the lava crevice?
Of course I can. And so she leads the way to the lava crevice.
Don't know that I like this.
You sure you don't want to lob him at Bentor?
It
I
could
would
be,
love
yeah.
to do that.
I think
We could reverse
I think they're
pickpocket
on
him.
to something there.
The plants get a little weird.
We can't get
around
back there in an hour, though.
the lava crevice. She
where is-
heads off a little bit. So you walk. It's not actually too long. You maybe walk 20 minutes, and you get to this area.
Ooh.
Steam is sort of
That
coming
does-
out of that rock. Just
I'm concerned that he had this ready to go.
because I knew for sure you were going to throw a polymorphed hedgehog into a. I had that all planned out somehow.
That looks good.
Especially
DMing,
like a gorilla
That's
hand, doesn't it?
DMing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't put anything in that. Do you see that thing?
Yeah.
That's
no.
like
Yeah.
that is asking
Let's
for
do it.
trouble right there.
Yeah, we're
know.
gonna
Let's
have
do
a
it.
Tyrannosaurus that's on fire coming after us.
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right. I'm open to suggestions. We've got
Well,
about
it happens
35
as soon
minutes
as it
until we have a
takes-
giant lizard.
It happens as soon as it takes damage, right?
That's right.
It's not hot enough
Then
to
we
take
better
damage.
get way the heck
no,
back
no.
there, because if this causes a lava eruption, we're all going to be like Pompeii.
It has to die, but
Hey.
killing a hedgehog is not a big trick.
I think we should take it with us to the tent city.
We have 35 minutes, and then we've got a
How long
giant
does it take to
lizard.
get
Hell
to the
with
tent
that.
city?
I'd say drop
yeah.
it in and we
Before
run
they
for
freak out.
35 minutes straight before the lava gets to us.
I vote drop it in.
Well, you're the one that's holding on to it.
Yeah, it's your hedgehog. You were on.
I'm just not standing anywhere near that lava hole, that's for sure.
Okay, Elf, drop it in.
Sorry.
Okay, I'll
Wait,
do it.
can't
I
we
don't
take
care.
it over with
It's
our
my
mage
it's
hand?
my Huh. Wait, hold on a second.
Don't you want to
You guys
take it
ever
over
see
with
that
mage
thing
hand?
where they drop the Mentos into the diet soda? I mean, does this mean nothing to you?
Let's put
Right, and
let's-
that's why you need to do it with your mage hand.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't know why the elf has to
that's
always
a
Isn't
do
this
very
going to
good
kill it
idea.
instantly?
Let's do invisible servant instead, and
Okay.
have the invisible servant carry him down into the crack as deep as he can go.
Man, you don't pay that invisible servant enough.
Okay.
I can always summon another one. They're really, really cheap.
Wow.
So,
it's kind of insensitive.
I was going to say.
The thing
They're
about
elves.
Why is there a fly here?
Oh, it's just some nighttime.
Yeah, sure it is.
Yeah. So the thing about this crack is the invisible servant can't necessarily go too deep into it because, well, are they constrained by size or can they just fit anywhere? I forget.
I don't know.
I thought you just were going to drop it and let
I'm gonna move
gravity pull
you
it
up
down
here,
in there.
Pew Joel, so you can
Okay.
see, and the hedgehog.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That doesn't mean you're there. It's just a representative imagery of you looking down this crack with steam coming up underneath it.
I'm not anywhere near there. I'm going to stand back 50 feet at least.
You can see
It has a range of 60 feet. If it moves out of 60 feet from me, it ends.
Yeah.
But how
Wait a
big is
minute.
it?
Yeah, can it fit through this crack? Because the hedgehog can, but you can't even fit through this crack.
Okay. Well, then I'll go with Fathom's suggestion of a mage hand.
Okay. Yeah, the
And just-
hedgehog is under 10 pounds, so you can
I can just mage hand him down as low as I can get him, and then I would like to see if he's calm enough to put him in a whatever little treasure bag I've got. If I've got a canvas sack or something I can dispose
so he
of.
can't see it coming.
That's right, and he also can't use his little claws to grip onto the sides of the crack.
Yeah,
You are a cold gnome.
It's calm enough. This T-Rex turned hedgehog is calm enough.
Okay, so I'll put him in the bag and whisper sweet nothings
Well, at least
in his
give him
ear.
some more baloney.
Yeah, I'll baloney him up
before you zip tie him.
That's what made him calm.
Yeah, we're gonna Adrian Hawkins him.
I'm gonna need to go. I'm gonna need to go have a bath after this.
Oh. For those of us that understand that reference.
Yes. Yes.
It's totally inaccurate. It's totally inaccurate.
Anyway.
It's a Bobby Jackson.
You lower him down.
I'm going to mage hand him down as low as I can and then drop him down into the lava pit.
No visible lava. No visible lava.
Okay.
There is a lot of steam, but
I'll drop him down as far as I can and then drop him over the dark-looking part of run like
hell.
Yeah.
Okay. So
run like a crippled goose, he said. So
your little legs going.
Yeah, my little tiny Billy Barty feet.
You run. You drop him. You run like hell.
This isn't going to go well.
You wait. Nothing.
Are we running back away?
Some steam just goes.
We better
out the top.
We better run.
But no hedgehogs. No giant sounds or transformation. It's like he must have not died in there.
He's happy.
Hang fire, quick!
Now.
Go look down the barrel.
Now you can stick around for 35 minutes if you want and find out what happens.
Ooh, it's
all right. Let's go.
That long? How long does it take to
do we have to come back this way when we go back to the ship?
No. This is farther away from the town. Would be out of your way.
Walk all the way around the damn island before we come back here.
But I'm burning with curiosity.
I know. Do we need to hang around to get the experience points?
You're going to be burning with a hot Tyrannosaurus pretty soon.
Yeah.
If you don't hang around, you don't get the experience points. So.
Yeah, it's like Highlander. You have to be there.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious.
Got no interest.
Yeah.
I mean, it's horrible, but I want to know.
We've witnessed a terrible crime today.
I want to see the lizard.
You saw the puff of steam
out of the crack.
Look, at worst case, he's taken a lot of damage, and then we can have to finish him off. But I think it's for the best. Not, we need to make sure that
either he was fireproof or it vaporized him.
Yeah, or he comes back.
He's gone into
so you wait around.
Or it was a magic Tyrannosaurus hedgehog resistant to fire.
In half an hour, there ought to be Tyrannosaurus paste squeezing up out of that crack.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
So in half an hour, as you're kind of all waiting around,
move me away from the crack. Move me away from the crack.
Definitely not.
I think we need to be a healthy distance away.
Yes.
All right, Pugh, Joel.
Yeah.
Let's pull you away from this.
I don't want.
How far do we want to be away?
I'm at least 50 feet away.
At least
we
50
can be
feet. Okay.
We can be further, and I could have it scoped in with the rifle.
Yeah, you could.
If that's what you guys feel comfortable doing.
Some of us could fly and look at it overhead too.
Well, I'm just utilizing the rifle.
Can we?
Okay.
So it's up to the party.
Yeah, I would say look it through.
Wasn't the trade based upon how many ammo shots you had?
It was. There was a little bonus to that, but you have 21, so let's take down to 20.
Don't throw that.
I have a range up to 600 feet with that rifle.
Yeah.
So
not
50
do
to
anything
60
to a Tyrannosaurus. Don't you watch the movies?
No, but if you guys want to play it safe. No,
If
Abra
it's
doesn't like that.
resistant
Why
to
don't we-
lava, we're not
I'll
going
tell
to
you
do
what.
anything to it with a damn bullet.
Why don't we let
I
Pujol
yeah.
cast a wall of thorns on it when it, if and when it does pop out? Because then
I'm
it'll
only
be on
using the
fire.
rifle.
It's gonna
I'm
Why
come
only
out
not?
like
using
Let's
the
go to the
rifle.
tent city. Forget it. Let's just leave.
No, we have to watch it. We've
Okay.
been already
So-
committed to
You gotta
30
watch
minutes.
We've already wasted half an hour in real
You've
time.
probably argued for half an hour
Yeah.
whether or not you should go or stay. When you hear
Yeah, let's just. Okay, I'm
This-
going to step off to the side and begin to compose a song to my own valor.
Yeah.
highly valorous.
Yes, I conquered the hedgehog lizard.
You
The
hear
Thunderhog.
a large, it starts as a hedgehog-like squeal, and then turns into a giant lizard-like roar, and then thump, and the earth sort of shakes around you. The top of this little crack breaks open, and this headpiece almost comes out. This top of this mangled head of this T-Rex comes out. Pugh, I need you to roll the damage that changing back does to him. Roll 10d6, if you will.
10d6.
Yeah, it's a tiny space, and it does break the top of this rock. Steam just sort of erupts out, but it's possible.
We just basically pissed it off.
10d6 is a lot.
37 points.
How much?
37.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Now it just
I'll-
popped
That's
out
not a-
mad.
Now, does it come back fully pointed,
No.
like shed the damage from the elf?
Okay. Here's the math. Yeah, so it roars. Its head, it's just a head sticking out of this, trying to move. It's injured. I think you think it's stuck down here. Maybe not for long, but for right now, it's stuck. I think you get a free round if you want to
It's just horrific.
finish it off.
Let's finish
Go
it
ahead.
off.
I'm not
Okay.
wasting a spell on
we
this
have
thing.
to
It's
finish
just
it
gonna
off.
die here.
Yeah,
We have to
mercy
finish it
killing.
off.
Okay, that's all I
Mercy
need
killing?
to know. You
Mercy
guys-
killing now?
Yeah.
That seems odd.
Yes, you guys have basically put a T-Rex in stocks.
Why don't you go feed it some damn bologna?
It's going to break out.
Are now throwing pies in its face. That's wonderful.
That's right.
You can finish it off in the round if you actually do all attempt to go after it. I don't need to roll because you're all going to get it's stuck there. You're all going to get critical hits on it with whatever you're doing.
Let's
Okay.
kill it.
I'll whack it.
I'll whack
Yeah.
it with my
You-
magic warhammer.
You do feel like after that round, there's enough struggling that it could break through the rock, but not before that. So, all right. So you will kill it.
Have a
and,
toothpick.
So in your minds, for some of you, you think it maybe would have escaped if you would have left it to its own devices. But you finished it
Yeah.
off in the rock.
I'm going to
That's
say
good
in
thinking.
Lizard Man, sorry, big brother.
Silent.
Sounds pretty good. Almost
All right.
Hogan-y.
And all the surrounding boars breed collective sighs of relief.
Till the mother shows up and finds out what it did to its baby.
Hey, there's more of that hedgehog crap where the first one came from.
It's
I
wise
feel
mother.
dirty now. I feel dirty.
Right into the crack with you, Mom.
Did the ladies stay with us, or did they?
No,
had
well,
to show us-
no, they were going to show you the tent, so they stayed. They didn't run off.
So now they can tell Tent City how awesome we are.
Yes.
Or how
Or
cruel.
horrible, depending on how
Or
you want to look at that.
You
Horribly cruel.
ensnared a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
The cruelest way possible.
Yeah, you know, they took a boar out of a snare. This is a little like a snare, kind of. So you.
They didn't turn it into a harmless little animal first.
No, they didn't. But they didn't feed him bologna either and be all nice. So you
Well,
after that.
Abram mentions to them, stew. You want stew meat?
Oh.
Yeah.
We can send
guys-
somebody back for it. I think that would be a little
No.
hard to do, and it's starting to
No.
get late. I'm concerned.
Already cooked.
I'd like to get back and rest.
Yeah, it's ready to go.
It's
I look over at
deep pit.
I look
get-
over
let's
at
get to the
Gooseneck.
tent
Too
city.
soon? I don't know. That might offend Gooseneck if we ate
Nah,
T-Rex.
Nah,
he's as closely
I'd probably
related
eat
to his
some too.
T-Rex as he is to those chickens he's eating all the time.
Right.
Yeah,
Ooh.
they're of a similar lineage.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
All right, so we're heading back to the tent city.
Yeah, so now you're heading to Tent City.
Yeah,
And
I feel like I need to make an act of contrition somewhere.
Why?
I'm
It was a
disappointed
T-Rex
they
and was
didn't-
going to eat us. Just because you sculpted it doesn't mean anything.
Has
nice,
nothing to do with anything.
very nice sculpt. You defeated your sculpt.
I was hoping for that Play-Doh Fun Factory action instead of the Pop-Tart.
No, you got a Pop-Tart. I'm so sorry.
You got a T-Rex in a box.
Yeah.
Like one of those
Yeah, like-
stress ball things.
And then, boop, up
Goes the T-Rex.
Yeah. I was just imagining
So-
like potted meat being squeezed out of a tube.
Yeah.
Nice.
Usual's Sausage Factory.
Yeah, sausage factory where
I
the
think he's gone a little around the bend.
Wow.
the little hot tub girls
know-
could go get a bucket.
Usual, you've got a new side gig. You can open a little sausage factory.
Yeah.
Well, I wish I could. My plan didn't work.
No.
Oh well.
Call it a T-Rex and a poke or
Yeah,
something. I don't know.
you can
Yeah.
perfect it with the next giant creature you turned into a small animal to torture.
So
Well,
after,
am I correct? Is this the first time that's worked?
I think
Mhm.
it is actually. He's tried it multiple times.
It doesn't work very frequently.
You turned something into a
Something.
hedgehog that I
Yeah.
chose.
did.
It was the
It's
goat that
Oh, it was the goat.
it was the Christmas goat that had been
Yeah.
turned into a dragon.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
There was
Uh,
something else that he turned into it was a creature from the Overgord or whatever.
I tried to, but they keep making their saves.
No, you turned something and I grabbed it and threw it into the Overgord's eye. Remember?
Yes.
You
There
turned it
was
into-
something you
This
did
may be
throw.
That was
Yeah.
it was I want to say it was that Halloween special with the Overgord, but I don't remember what
Yeah,
the
we need a
critter
whole
was.
bunch
You
of
turned it into a
hedgehogs.
hedgehog.
So you get
'Cause I-
to this area of tents, and that's actually where we have to stop. Right upon Tent City. As you approach, you can see the lights.
Oh.
You can see some things struck up. You hear dialogue and conversation, and you hear, leading the way. Margaret comes down and says, "We've some stew for the evening, and some friends." And that's where we have to stop and figure out what happens.
And a dead
Next
dinosaur
time.
hedgehog right over
Yeah.
that way.
A dino
Just-
hog.
Just don't take
Um,
any baloney from him, because you've seen what happens.
We have to remember to find out which tent was the tent of
Slods.
the slod tent.
Slod.
We need to remember which one's slod tent.
Is the big brown object an enormous tent?
Yes, it's a very large tent. There's a bunch of
that
small
is an
ones, and
impressive
then
tent.
there's a large one. You can see peeking inside. There's a little, like a dining table. It's very
it's a
picnic
communal
bench.
tent.
Yep.
That's like the
What are
capital
those little-
of tents.
What are those little tents made out of?
Canvas. Oh wait, are you asking from a like?
Yeah, the models.
Yeah. Cardboard and paper towels.
Okay, those are cool.
Oh.
So is the big one. It's made of
Crafty.
cardboard and paper towels. Thank you. It's I think it's
Crafty.
mostly Sidley that did that. So there are more. There's one other large tent in this tent city. It's a little more colorful, and you're guessing that it's more colorful because it's they do some entertainment activities in there. You can hear a little laughter, but these Margaret has brought you back to the tent where they're eating.
Oh, it's a Technicolor dream tent.
Yes, filled with slod.
It's yes, the slot all have a very wonderful and organized communal lifestyle.
Maybe they aren't as bad as we thought.
Maybe not. So that is where we have to end tonight. Otherwise, we are going to go too long, and I don't want to do that. And it's a nice stopping point. You guys have successfully defeated a T-Rex in the, which is great. I'm going to have to get some experience points, aren't I, for all of your adventures today, including a T-Rex adventure. So let's see what we get here. Each of you get 700 experience points. T-Rex did not have a treasure sack on them, unfortunately.
Well, it's good to know.
Even
all
if
the
it did,
videos
it'd be underground.
It would be. So I know that, well, I'll end it there and say that next time we will continue on to see what happens in the tent city, and if you find any of the answers you're looking for or the crew that you're looking for.
Dun, dun,
Before we break off, I have 35,363. Is that what y'all have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So thank you, everyone, for playing this evening. Thank you, everyone, for watching this evening. We got to play in the jungle, which doesn't get to happen all the time. I enjoy that. I'm going to let everybody sort of outro, plug anything they're doing that they might want to share and have all of you attend. I'll start with Bobby.
I don't have anything to plug, but I would like to say thank you very much, Frank, and the Nightheart crew. That was super fun. It's not every day that I get to conquer a Tyrannosaurus.
Pretty much single-handedly.
That was fun. When when polymorph works, it really works.
When it works, it works. When it doesn't,
and when it doesn't work, you get eaten by a Tyrannosaurus. Okay, but I just want to say thank you and had a great time as usual.
Thank you, Gene.
Yeah, my thanks to everybody. I had a great time also, and I will mention, even though I'm not sure how long I will be there, the North Texas RPG Con is coming up next weekend, and Reaper will be there. They'll be running their new DDRPG game, so you should, if you're there, you should play, and if you're not there, you should come and play. So we'll look for you.
I'm coming to play.
Bobby's coming to play.
Well,
oh, all right.
You guys should still come, even though Bobby's going to be there.
Okay. There are people that is there open games? There are people that come. Is there even the opportunity that they're going to play in the same game?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I would think so.
There's open games. Whether or not they'll play with Bobby, that's on Bobby.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't let Bobby be the DM.
Four games you can. That's where Bobby's going to be. So don't look for anything new.
Yes. No.
That's not what Bobby does.
Oh, okay. Got it. Jason.
Thanks, everybody. It was a blast again. I always enjoy it. Try to tune into our Crow's Nest show on Tuesday. We'll be talking to Reaper John about mold making this time.
That's you're getting through the whole process. I love it.
Yep. Bit by
Michael.
bit.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Frank and Ann, and who's the sound people? Siren Sound. Great sounds of flies tonight. That was awesome. Thanks for all the painted miniatures. I don't know why that's so funny. Yeah, thanks. I mean, we even had Justin helping us tonight, which is a rare occurrence these days. So I want to say thank you to Justin for
I would
for
say
making it and helping.
participating, not really helping.
Well, that's true. Justin being here, taking up space, is that probably
Oh,
more
he did
accurate?
the countdown
Certificate of
several
merit
times.
for you.
Yeah, he scolded us on the countdown.
Yeah,
But
not
big
everybody can
thanks to
do that
Justin.
countdown and start over 3
Hey.
times like that. That's
Yeah,
something.
big thanks to Reaper for hosting us, and I want to say a big thanks to all my friends on this show.
Thank you, Michael.
Oh, thank you.
Even the gnome.
Aww.
Ron.
Hedgehog.
Rhonda.
I'm going to echo all the things. That was certainly a memorable session of role playing. I'm going to unplug something.
He froze.
Wait, you're going to unplug something?
Yeah, you're going to unplug.
It's a holiday. Monday's a holiday, so no Beyond the Kid.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. But that means they
Yeah,
have
man,
to
I
catch
was
it the
going to
next
tune
time.
in too.
Okay.
Pardon?
Okay. Then they have to catch it the next time. So.
Yes. The Monday after
It'll be
that,
4
I will be back
hours.
and painting something. It will not be 4 hours because I'll be hungry before then. I'll make dinner.
Got it. Thank you.
Hedgehog.
Hedgehog.
The new jazz
We need a
hands.
t-shirt. Yeah. Hedgehog.
Hedgehog.
Again.
Thank you, everyone. As Rhonda says, it was definitely a memorable session. Looking forward to next time. Maybe fewer T-Rex hedgehogs.
Fair enough. Thank you. So for my part, thank you. Thank you, Reaper. Thank you, Sirenscape, for the audio. Thank you, Justin, for doing some background camera switching.
They have the best flies and seagulls in the business.
They really do. Their insect swarms are, and goopy, like slurpy sounds. They're quite disgusting. I love them. For the most part, so for me, I will be DMing on Nightheart Gaming tomorrow. If you've ever wondered what a single player DM game might look like, that is going to be tomorrow, which doesn't happen very often. And we're going to give that a run. So I cannot guarantee that that is the kind of event that is super entertaining, but it might be super interesting to players and DMs to see how that goes down.
Who's your player?
TPK could happen right away.
My player is Enk the Mage. If you see them, plays Dave in our game. The name of his character is Dave.
Dave's not here, man.
Dave's not here, man. So thank you, Justin. For that, after that, I think I'll just hand it off to you to do the raid and do the final outro and plug anything that you need to plug for Reaper Miniatures. Justin? I sound like Dave.
Oh, we lost Justin.
What? There's no Justin?
Oh, we were just talking about how good he was. Damn.
I think he fell asleep.
There's a chance that he had to grab and jump off and do something.
Well, let's just keep going then.
Why don't we keep going?
Party. We got
Turn the machines back on.
2, 3. Hedgehog.
Hedgehog.
All right, here we go. Now we're gonna do it. 1, 2, 3.
I'm gonna do it.
Hedgehog.
There you go.
Justin is not the only one here that can take us on a raid.
Jen, we're gonna do it one more time. 1, 2, 3. Hedgehog. There we go.
Are you crushing his head, Jason?
Yes.
Participating
all of you
with Go ahead, Jason.
Jeez.
What? That's team building right
I
there.
cut Jason off.
Team.
No,
That's
I didn't
team
say
building.
anything. I stopped talking. I just couldn't talk about the poor hedgehog anymore.
Yeah,
never
Quindy,
really
I
a
know that
hedgehog.
Quindy LaRue can
They're
do it.
endangered.
They are so cute too, I will say.
I know.
They only last an hour.
So
why don't you do like a naked mole rat or something that's at least halfway detestable?
Oh man, those
They're
are cute
super
too.
interesting though.
They're
What's
no
wrong with
detestable
mole rats?
creatures.
No, they're not cool. They look like little walruses crossed with a
no,
thumb.
no.
They're not cool at all.
Oh.
You can't holler naked roll rat.
No, hedgehog.
You gotta go hedgehog.
Hedgehog. And that's
Go ahead.
that's how you cast. That's how Pugh casts it from now on. He's just gonna go
hedgehog.
Hedgehog.
And then Frank says, "Saving throw."
Hope we're not around when it fails.
Quindy can take us on this raid. I think that's okay, Quindy. I don't know. For all I know, Bobby actually did cut off Justin's IP address.
Oh, I thought we were supposed to do that. Didn't he say we were supposed to do that?
Yeah, I told him he was going to get.
That's what I've been working on.
Said to do it this whole time. So who are we rating? We're rating Monster Den Minis. Awesome. Thank you, Quindy. Thank you, Quindy LaRue, who sets up a lot of the things when we are beginning to go live. Text, make sure everything's going smoothly. So also, that's a thank you and shout out. Yeah, definitely everyone have a great weekend. And thank you very much. It'd be boring without.
Very, very much. Very much.
I just want to say bouncy castle. Bouncy castle.
Hedgehog.
Bouncy castle.